Okay, it's time to check out the comments, but before that, first of all, the poll that I made. 51% want the uncut full reaction, so that's how it is going to be. All right. Now let's scroll down. This looks like a lot. A lot, yes. Okay. Here's the newest stuff. What do you think about carrying a backpack in your inventory and replacing your Fort Sterling cape when you hit the max for more resources? Meaning more money during a single trip. It can be riskier in case of gangs, but since journey back ability got implemented, you don't have to worry about gatekeepers on the way back to safe zones. It's riskier. Pretty much have to use the Fort Sterling cape. It's pretty much mandatory. Using anything else is basically trolling, because if you die, then the backpack wasn't worth it. It simply wasn't worth it. In theory, you could think about how often the Fort Sterling cape is actually necessary to survive gangs, and then think about how much more profit you would make by using a backpack. The problem with a backpack, though, is that I will not know which resource I'm going to find. Sometimes I'm getting a lot of fiber, sometimes I'm getting a lot of wood, sometimes ore. So it makes it really less efficient, considering that I'm gathering everything. I believe that is just plain greedy and stupid to do. Yeah, I would also not really want to take a backpack. Fort Sterling cape is pretty much mandatory. A timestamp. Let's look at that. Unfortunately, they camped that map. I was killed there an hour later. And we'll try to be careful around that map. I'm not sure if they are camping this map. It is possible. They have huskies, which is annoying. Okay, yeah, I said they may be camping that map. I understand. Nice. Thanks. That gatherer with that ox and nature staff was cute. He looked like he approached the stack, clicked it and realized he didn't have tier 5 fiber gathering or something, so hopped straight back on his mount. I don't remember the situation anymore. But people on oxes are generally just cute. The problem with watching every commenting comment video is I heard the same repetitive question too sometimes. So I can kinda feel how annoying it is to answer some question multiple times. And you always start the video with alright, time to read some more comments. Yeah. And this comment of you is actually the reason why I made the poll. I saw this comment on this dashboard screen randomly, because it shows me like the 2 or 3 latest comments, and that's why I made the poll, so you could decide if I should edit these videos and only include interesting answers or everything. Did you use tomes to level up your gathering? I've been watching for a while and I noticed that you have leveled up to tier 8 fast. When I reached tier 8 on all the gathering professions, these tomes were not in the game yet. And I would not have used them. It's just some extra free loot. I personally would not recommend using them, except for maybe getting to tier 5, reaching tier 5 maybe. But in the end, like, if you're that desperate to get all the levels on gathering, it's only worth it to get these high levels in gathering if you're going to gather, what's it called, regularly. So there's no point in speeding up that process. You're just losing money, basically. Tomes aren't worth using if you are a dedicated gatherer, exactly. 1 tier 8 tome only gives 6k fame, which is easily achievable, especially when mining high tier enchanted resources. And 1 tier 8 tome is almost 1 million. So it's basically free silver when you get one. It's the low tier gathering that is dreadful. Yep. I already answered this. Gank red zone with curse. No. I don't like doing stuff in the red zone. Because it's just not profitable in there. Unless you run around with a ganking group killing some transporters. But still, I'd prefer to go into the black zone and do stuff there. Hey there, great video. I have a question. I came back to the game after like 2 years of inactivity. Would you say that gathering is still a nice way to get a nice amount of silver? It is still a nice way to get a nice amount of silver. I think I started playing like 2 years ago. And it seems like gathering is a little bit less profitable now. You get like 25% less loot, basically less value. My gathering levels have increased, my efficiency has increased, and yet I'm getting the same amount of money that I was getting like 1 year ago. So the efficiency has decreased, but I'm still getting around 2 million per hour. If that's enough for you, then that is going to be a nice way of making silver. And if it's not, then you have to do some PvP. Then you have to do some ganking to get that amount of silver or higher amounts. PvP groups chasing one guy is always so cringe. In my opinion, it's not cringe necessarily. If they chase me for like 15 minutes without having any chance of catching me, then that's annoying and sad. But if they chase me for like one map because they have realistic chances of killing me, then that's fine. That's what they are supposed to do. Full, Brudi. Meaning, this is a comment to the poll that I made where I asked if you want the full video, the full reaction, the uncut reaction to these comments, or if you wanted the cut down thing. And he wants it to be full. Let it roll, of course. No need to take more of your precious time to edit. We viewer could just skip few seconds ahead for some non-interesting question. That's true. Wow, I never see a tree grow on the beach. So funny. Yeah, I think that's also the first time that I saw a tree on the beach in Albion. Was a big stack in the black zone. Actually being on the beach. I'm first. Yeah, that seems true. 19.5 doing horse sounds. If we're playing this safe, I can probably change my W as long as we are... I'm not hearing horse sounds. Two horse sounds, another horse sound.
Oh, blue one.
You meant safe, I can probably change my... You meant me, right? Now. Kinda horse sounds, kinda. Second, truth. Wait, what? You have friends? I would bet quite a lot of money on that. I have more than 100 videos on YouTube where I'm playing together with other people. I think he mentioned it before that he likes to duo. I mean, duoing is very nice, but also playing with like 3, 4 more people is also fine. Also good if those are the right people. That 2v4 was good and fun to watch fight. Yeah, it was really funny. Sadly, it didn't stay a 2v4 though. I wonder if it. I would say it's possible that we would have won that 2v4. It was looking pretty good. Two east of me got interrupted, but that was mainly because I was not playing perfectly. So I think it would have been possible for us to win the 2v4, even though they had similar IP. 829 hideouts in one zone. That's the most hideouts I've seen in one zone. The Alliance basically camped that zone. Probably. Other. Yes, they are. And the roads portal has sadly only one charge, so they are. I want to see the big map. Yeah. And those hideouts should all be from one alliance, I'm pretty sure as well. Yeah. It's Arch territory. They really like to do inefficient stuff. What is a healer build? This looks so fun. Looking to do it with my duo. I'm pretty sure it's possible to see that build of his in the video. Here somebody posted a timestamp. Exactly. There you go. This is a healer build. Even though this helmet needs to be replaced if wanting to play in bigger groups. Bam. Where is Thor? Thor is in all of these videos on my second channel. Like, I'm posting all the videos where I'm talking German on this channel. So here's a lot of duo gathering and ganking going on. And let's go back to the main channel. Down. Gotta scroll down quite a bit. But there are also some videos with Thor coming. Even this week. There are, I think, 2 videos where he's also playing. And there are also 2 videos for the week after that where he is also in it as well. This commenting comments is a surprisingly creative idea I haven't seen elsewhere yet. I think I have seen similar stuff, but not from Albion YouTubers or whatever. I've seen it somewhere else before, I think. But yeah, for Albion, nobody else is doing that, I feel like. And to be honest, I would watch that. I would watch this thing here I'm doing from other Albion YouTubers to see how they react to their comments. But I'm pretty sure a lot would not like to do that because a lot of Albion YouTubers seem to be a little bit fake, you know? So them reacting to comments would be rather either very, very, how do you say this in English? Hard, or it would be very funny. Nice video, dude. Thank you. I don't speak this language. Let's look at it. Google Translate Spanish, it seems like. Let's translate it to English. You should try farming after maintenance. All resources appear with all charges. Good video. This is not true. I have already logged in after the maintenance quite a few times in the past, and resources are not 100% full. Good video, thank you. I don't think this is true, and I also don't think so. Dude is cracked at the game. Keep feeding us good content. I'm trying. Fun fact to know, amazing videos. Let's see what fun fact that was. There is the Dunning-Kruger effect, if you know about that. If you're incompetent, you cannot judge how incompetent you are. Exactly. I love that. I love that. That little information, that effect. I visit Glacier Fall Pass quite often during off-peak hours, and it's always empty. You found more resources than I have in many sessions. The thing is, in off-peak hours, there are less big groups, there are less gankers, which is a problem. It's a problem for gatherers. Because on these maps there will always be some gatherer from some guild. Or even some people like me wandering around, traveling around a lot. And they will clear the map. And so there are no resources. The best times to gather are the times when there are big groups running around scaring all the gatherers away. Or even ganking groups. That's when you get the most resources. Unless the gankers are able to gather resources as well, which happens from time to time. But the best time to gather is when there are big, small scale and ZVZ groups running around. You will actually get some resources because they are busy doing other stuff, but they are scaring away all the gatherers. Very good, but the real name for this character is Zero to Senpai. Do you mean Senpai? I give you advice. Never use Avalonian tools. I have 30 million gather fame. If you're going only for the money and you plan on dying a few times, which happens, then yeah, that's good advice. But I like using Avalonian tools. But yeah, when looking at the profit, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, sadly. Only for very special occasions. The way you move ahead of your duo and aggro mobs so he has to dodge AoE gives me anxiety. It's all training. It's all for the training. You have to stay fresh on your dodging skills for the difficult PvP situations. Sick gank escape. Thank you. The evil Chuck Norris clip was so wholesome and then got ganked. Like looking at someone surrounded by zombies and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, kinda. But he got out. He escaped them. Which is pretty funny. Like, the situation was not that nice. But I think he had an undead cape or something. Poor Chuck Norris. He survived. I mean, he is Chuck Norris, right? Like, he's Chuck Norris. He's not going to die. Maybe put Facebreaker to 100 with fame credits. It's really cheap and saves a lot of time. Any offhand, really. I'm definitely not going to use fame credits on offense. First of all, offense really have a very little impact. And second of all, leveling up weapons to 120 is extremely expensive. I'm getting a lot of books from Arena and sometimes Crystal League. I'm just using those books to on the side level up the offense. Also, the offense level up so quickly. If I randomly use a random offhand while doing PvE in the black zone or while doing roads, it levels up so quickly. It would really be a waste of fame credits. Dope. What time would be the best time for gathering safely? I don't know. It depends on the maps. Depends on the maps, on the guilds that are roaming around there, the people who are ganking there. It depends. It's hard to say that in general. I mean, you can think about when is a prime time for Asians, when is a prime time for Europeans, when is a prime time for Americans, and then you can just go into zones where either Europeans are mainly, where Americans are mainly, and stuff like that. You can think about that, but gathering safely is actually not the best idea, because when there's nobody to gank you, then there will be gatherers taking away all the resources and you get pretty bad profit. Went through when I first started video editing. Now it's taking a whole new switch, and learning soft will only boost my courage for the... Yeah, there is a little bit missing in this sentence. I'm not sure what your point is. I simply wish you good luck with learning soft, whatever soft is. First, I think you're correct. Can you tell already, is fishing more or less profitable than gathering? It seems to me that fishing is exactly as profitable as having all the gathering professions on tier 8 and going out gathering with all the tier 8 tools in the deep black zone. That's what it seems to me, because right now I'm at tier 7 fishing and I'm getting between 1.5 million to 2 million per hour when I reach tier 8 fishing and 100 spec in both the fishing levels. I would assume that I would get like 2 million per hour or even a little bit more when I'm lucky with the dead water eel. So this should be at least as good as solo gathering, as a solo gatherer with pure gathering gear. That's what I think right now. The only problem for me is that fishing is way too boring for me. Like gathering all the other resources is more interesting. While for fishing, you can stay and you should stay in one map. Maybe you have to get out of that map sometimes because you're getting chased. But you can stay in the same map the whole time, which also makes it very efficient. And fish does respawn much faster than all the gathering resources. So fishing is really good for a solo gatherer. Like when you're playing solo, fishing should be at least as good as solo gathering when having everything on tier 8. That's what I think right now. I would say gathering is much more profitable if you have high specs in it, but fishing can make you a decent amount of silver while being in yellow zone. I don't know anything about the yellow zone except that it's not profitable in any way. It's really bad. I just got into fishing and I'm tier 7, grind for 4 hours per day, and I am on my 6th day today. I made about 500k per hour in the yellow zone. See, 500k in the yellow zone, I'm making 1.5 million to 2 million in the black zone. In tier 8 zone. In tier 7 zones, I will make less. I will make like 1 million to 1.5 million per hour. 7 to 800k per hour in the red zone, depending on how many rare fish you got. Okay, can you get dead water eel in the red zone? Is that possible? Fishing is much better at low tiers than normal gathering because of how the journals work. The journals alone are why fishing is so profitable. Yeah, it's really easy to fill the most expensive journals. The journals are really good in fishing. And they also need very little fame. But also you get less fame from fishing than from gathering normal gathering resources. I would still say it is too low for fish in yellow zone. Gathering has more spikes like hitting an 8.3 node or killing black border elite mobs one sword. But first to that, 8.3 nodes, you don't get those as a solo gatherer. I'm of course only talking about the perspective from a solo gatherer. The thing is, if you have friends and you go ganking with them, it's really good to have all the gathering professions on tier 8 so you can take all the big stacks, especially because you will be able to take them. If you're a solo gatherer, you're not going to get an 8.3 stack, you're not going to get a 7.3 stack, not a 6.3 stack, you're not going to get aspects and all that good stuff. You need groups for all that, and these groups need to be strong. You have to be able to fight off some pretty big guilds. Where was I? But fishing can be very consistent. The best place to go... also, one more point. Fishing is really useless for groups. If you're running around with friends, you really do not want to be fishing at all. You don't. Fishing is really bad for groups. Gathering is really good for groups. When you go around with friends, you want to have all the tier 8 tools with you. Unless you're planning on dying all the time. Then you don't need the tools. But then you don't really need to go outside either. The best place to go once you hit tier 6 is a tier 8 roads in the zone, either through way or sanctuary. The problem is the Pumice snipper is really bad. But is it possible to also get Deadwater Eel in the roads? It may be possible. But Pumice snapper is pretty bad. Still better than all the other tier 7 stuff. But way worse than the Deadwater Eel. Either try to find one with a 6 or 7 bodies of water, especially ones that are in the path of the main road, but not shared by anything else. There you can fish the nodes. Fish the open water until you hit stone logs and just keep rotating. With enough bodies of water, the fish and nodes will respawn by the time you loop around. Depending on connections, this can be very safe. Ideally, you want one with 1 or 2 portals. Those portals should connect to far from city royal zones. Some black zone connections can be dangerous even if they are far from a portal. I would agree with pretty much everything after that. The one thing is, how do you find these roads? That's the problem. But in theory, you can just make a couple of accounts, or not accounts, just a couple of characters. But maybe you need a second account, so you get 3 more characters. And just place all these characters in the tier 8 road maps. And then you can just check all your characters, see which one is very available, which one is very easy to reach. And then you can always go to this tier 8 roads map that has a lot of water bodies in it. So definitely a thing that one could do. I'm not going to do that for my 0 to hero fishing thing. I'm too lazy for that. You should try River Copse Found. It's a tier 8 forest in Limhurst Black Zone. I can look if that's not too far away and if it's not such a terrible forest map where you have like a boss area and likewise no roads portals. I can try to take a look. One very big thing is, of course, it should not be too far away from the black zone portal city thingy, you know, so you don't have too much travel time, or rather in this situation. By the way, love your gathering videos. You are the one who helped me to understand how insanely profitable gathering is, and I love the uncut video you put because of all those tips you give in a video are so valuable. Thank you, and you're welcome. Fishing is not one-off gathering method. It is just hobbies to spend your money. Like, the thing is, fishing is, in my opinion, just as profitable as solo gathering. So, you know, I would not agree. Not sure if you know. Even though this is an old video, it just played on its own as I was busy. And I came back to see this at 5440. Let's take a look. Me fighting this thing. You fighting the tier 8 stone elemental. When it does its special move and its huge AoE where he throws you, and it's pretty much all over, hard to avoid. If you stand on top of the elemental as it is doing that, you will take 0 damage and able to continue to fight the mob. Makes it a lot easier than trying to run and escape it. You were standing slightly to the side and were inside the damage radius. Yeah. I mean, I have now already figured it out. Let's see if I don't know about that in this video. Oh, this actually hit me. Yeah, I already knew it there. I was trying to jump into the middle so I don't get hit, but it seems like I jumped a little bit too far. Salt water also has Kraken, which is about 40k a pop. 40k is not that good, because Kraken is still something that is rare, so you don't get it very often. Deadwater eel is the way to go. It's the way to go. My man just bring the legendary community chest, I guess, in his legendary in his inventory. Add a black zone. No, I don't have a community chest. Let's see if I'm fast enough. When do I open my inventory? Here I do. That's, I don't know how community chests look, but this is a chest from the, is it called Conqueror's Challenge? No, it's not Conqueror's Challenge. It's the other challenge, the other thing, the Adventurer's Challenge or something. And I took it because I believe that these non-tradable items cannot be destroyed when dying. So I didn't care. I just took it before forgetting about it. Hi there. I'm based in Martlock and I started gathering rocks and ore, and I also fish. Currently I don't gather more resources because of learning points, since I'm only tier 4 in all. Should I focus only on these 3? Should I also add wood or add all the other professions? Thanks in advance for your advice. Keep up the excellent work. If depends on if you want quick money right now, or do you just want all the gathering professions and just roam around everywhere and can gather everything? Depends on what you want. Depends on if you like gathering regularly. You have very low gathering levels, so it's not 100% safe that you enjoy it enough that you want to do it in the future as much as well. If you want to stay at Martlock, then I would suggest Martlock. If you go the northeastern route deeper into the zones, it's pretty fine. If you want to gather a lot in Highland maps, and there are quite a few tier 7 Highland maps there, you could go for wood, ore, and stone, so you can get all the valuable stuff in these zones. I would not recommend combining fishing and gathering. If you want to combine it very desperately, then I would recommend using a very safe horse like the Gallant horse, even though you should not be using it yet because you don't have any high tier gathering, high tier fishing. But it's possible to combine gathering and fishing. But then I would recommend only taking tier 8 resources and better. And like 6.2, 7.1 maybe. And tier 8, 8.1 and all that stuff only. With like a gallant horse and like a 6.2, 6.3 bag. And mainly fishing gear. But having all the tier 8 fishing normal tools with you and an Avalonian fishing rod. That's what I would do if I wanted to combine fishing and gathering. But I would recommend not combining it. Because if you go for gathering, you get a lot of money from especially 6.1 resources and 7.1 resources and stuff like that. And those are very heavy. So you need a very, very strong mount. Let's say it like that. You need a mount with a lot of carry weight, like the Spectral Diabor. And that's really bad for fishing. For fishing, you really, really, really have to use a gallant horse. Otherwise, you die too often. That's my opinion on that. First, you're right about that. Nice kill. Yeah, that was a really good kill. Delivered on time. We were really happy that this guy showed up. That guy is real MVP for giving you the pick and 3 million additionally. You're right. The real Albion hero. Exactly. The hero we really needed. Lucky 1000. I can only agree. I can only agree. What is the benefits of having 100 spec in fishing? The thing is, you fish faster and you get more fish. That's the benefit. You take 4 fishes. You get 3 to 4 fish. You don't get 100% 4 fish all the time, but 3 to 4, and the chance of getting 4 fish increases, obviously. And that's, of course, much better. 4 dead water eels are worth 90k more than 3 dead water eels. Aspiring gatherer here. Is your guild recruiting? My guild is not really recruiting, and the thing also is, it does not matter that much here that you are an aspiring gatherer, but it matters in a way. The thing is, there are mainly 2 things that me and friends are doing in my guild. That's on the one hand ganking and gathering in the black zone at the same time, for which you basically need all gathering professions on tier 8 except fishing. Fishing is terrible for black zone ganking. And the other activity is going into the roads with 8.3 gear. So that's the stuff that I do with people. I don't go for pure gathering runs when I play with other people. If you are interested in those 2 things, and also Hellgates are pretty fun, but we don't have enough active people right now for that. But if you are still interested, you still need a perfect PC, you need perfect internet, you need to speak perfect English or German. You have to have a mature personality that's not screaming around all the time and is not sad about dying once in this game or stuff like that, and doesn't have to be toxic when being ganked or killed or anything like that. There are a lot of requirements. We are very picky about who we play with. If you meet all this criteria and you're interested in these activities, you can write me a message per mail in game. Not that whispering thing, but a mail. Hi man, what do you get from killing mobs in the open world like you did in this video? I do get fame. I mean, I also get silver, and the silver is not that terrible, to be honest. But I mainly get fame for killing these mobs. And fame is good because this way my weapons, my armor and stuff like that is leveling up. And so I have more item power, which means my items are more effective. My items give me more stats, and that's very important. It's very important to have high levels on your items, so they are more effective, and you can also use weaker gear, cheaper gear, and still have very high statistics. Still missing the trio or duo ganking videos. Is there any possible to see them again? Yes, it is. And here I put in the link, but you can also see this. Can I do it like this? I can. Here. When you scroll down on the YouTube side of my channel, you can see it here, like my German videos. Here, if you click on that, you can see all my German videos. We did a few Hellgates as well, but mainly like Duo, Black Zone, Ganking, Gathering, and all that stuff. Bam. Hi, try to change the resolution from 180 to blah blah blah. I saw your comment. I tried it in game, and it's true. You, or rather, I was seeing more stuff. I saw way more, but the problem is it was kind of blurry. It looked pretty bad, and I don't like that. Otherwise, I would be using that, because seeing more is obviously way better. In this game, information is extremely important. And I would also assume that you see names from other players earlier this way, but it's blurry. It's looking washed up. It's not good for my eyes, so I'm going to keep playing on this resolution. swolebenjis has making a video where he is commenting some YouTuber content, but he hides their identity in the video. However, several people, including me, realized that the first topic was you. He criticized you for not being efficient. It's fine because it was his own opinion. However, what I don't like was he mentioned that you were using ESP hack just because you were not paying complete attention to the screen. The first 3 minutes was you. Here's the link. Okay, this is sounding pretty interesting. ESP hack. Let me quickly Google what that is. Extra sensory perception hack. It says this is German here, and it says that here it's English, short for extra sensory perception, are a type of hacks that display player information such as HP, name, rank, gun, etc. Okay. And crazy. The first 3 minutes was you. Here's the link. I don't know if I want to watch this. I don't know if I want to watch this. I really don't like swolebenjis. His attitude is pretty, like he's like a grumpy dude, hating everything. And I've seen like, I don't know, 3 or 4 videos of him. And also the information that he's giving. Like I looked at some kind of fishing guide of him. And he said things like, it's good to have a mobility weapon while fishing, which is true. So you can reach the other fish quicker. And while he said it, he jumped to some fish and his mount was despawning. Like what? Like what? Just trolling. Okay, but let's look at that.
Going to be watching a whole lot of other Albion Online videos and talking about them. Now, I will be keeping their identities a secret and the titles of the video secret, but I'm going to be telling you what's going on and my thoughts about it. let's get into it. All right, the first video is
He's going he's going to tell everyone what's going on.
soloing farming in the black zone. It looks like this gentleman here is going to be fame farming, but also gathering, which is not a good combination. The reason why I am against this is because if you gather without actual gathering gear, your returns aren't worth the time it takes to gather the products, okay? They're just not. There's no reason to do it. And the gear that he's using to fame farm with is painfully slow and overly expensive, but this guy is pretty loaded. It looks like he's got nearly a year's worth of premium going. He's got hundreds of millions of silver, so I think he's just doing this possibly for the video, for the entertainment value, so I'm gonna check this out. Now, right away, this video is actually kind of boring because it's just sped up footage of farming. There's no
Okay, let's go back.
the products. Without actual gathering gear, your return.
If you gather without actual gathering gear, your returns aren't worth the time it takes.
Aren't worth the time it takes to gather the products, okay?
Aren't worth the time to gather the products. I would say that this is wrong, because in my solo fame farming videos, where I'm also taking my gathering gear with me, I'm only taking very, what's it called? Expensive resources. Like I'm gathering 6.2, 7.1, also 6.1 height, because it's very expensive. Height is kind of special. And tier 8 resources, 8.1, all that stuff. I'm only taking these resources, so it's definitely worth the time to take such resources. You spend like, I don't know, 10 seconds to get 100k silver. I would say that it is worth it. I would say so.
Okay, they're just not. There's no reason to do it. And the gear that he's using to fame farm with is painfully slow and
the gear I'm using to fame farm with is painfully slow and overly expensive. I was using the spear. The spear is one of the best PvE weapons for solo fame farming in the open black zone. And the thing is, when I fame farm in the open black zone, I get way more fame than people running like solo dungeons and stuff like that. And I also get way more fame than in the Roads of Avalon, no matter if those are static chests or static dungeons. The only place which maybe could give more fame are these world bosses and the static dungeons in the black zone, I would think. And it's really not that slow. Like killing an open world black zone mob, like the normal one, takes some I can one shot, so it takes me 2 or 3 seconds, and I get 8k fame, 7k fame, 5k fame. I don't know if 2 or 3 seconds are very long for like that amount of fame. Let's see what his next point is. Overly expensive. Overly expensive. My gear is worth 1 million. Maybe. No, I'm using the Gallant horse. So my gear should be worth 2 million in total. So that's the gathering tools, which are 500k. The Gallant horse, 700k, I think. And the rest of my gear, like, I don't know, in total 800k. So combined about 2 million. But the thing is, the stuff that I'm gathering, the stuff that I will have in my inventory will be worth 1.5 million, 1 million or 2 million. So I feel like it's kind of fine. Considering what I'm doing, it's also good to have some high IP. So I can, from time to time, kill a person or from time to time survive a gank. More often than not, I survive, obviously. More often than not, what I'm doing there is profitable. I'm uploading every single solo fame farming run, so you can just count my deaths. So, and think for yourself if it's worth it or not. I'm also going very deep with that. Main reason being that I can also gather some resources. It would probably be safer to just stay in the tier 5 and tier 6 zones around the portals. But then, of course, I would not be making any money like this. It's way more fun for me. So yes, entertaining. It's more entertaining for me. That's one main point why I'm doing it like this. Also, I make more money if I do it like this. And it is not going to hurt me too much if I lose these 2 millions of gear.
And overly
Mainly because I have made like 2 or 3 runs before that and got like 5 million already. So I paid for my gear already. If somebody has less gear, then less money, then he should be using more cheap gear, of course.
expensive, but this guy is pretty loaded. It looks like he's got nearly a year's worth of premium going. He's got hundreds of millions of silver, so I think he's just doing this possibly for the video, for the entertainment value, so I'm gonna check this out. Now, right away, this video is actually kind of boring.
I'm not really doing that for entertainment value. I'm doing that because I like to do it. It's profitable. I need the fame. It's a lot of fame that I'm getting there. And that's how it is.
Because it's just sped up footage of farming. There's no context, there's no dialogue, there's no banter, there's no speaking, there's no commentating. He's just playing the game. He does have a webcam, which I'm not against webcams. On several of my older YouTube channels, I used a webcam. People loved it. Maybe I'll start webcamming again someday so you can see my goofy face and all my crazy facial expressions. But besides that, so far he's just fame farming. Not a lot of fame, to be honest. He does have premium.
Not a lot of fame. Not a lot of fame. Let's see. That's funny. Let's see how much fame he is getting here in this video. I don't know what level this dungeon is. He's doing some yellow zone
value,
stuff.
so I'm gonna check this out. Now, right away, this video is actually kind of boring because it's just sped up footage of farming. There's no context. There's no dialogue.
Like these normal mobs give him 500 fame. He kills them very quickly. So you could even argue he gets like 1000 fame, 1500 fame, 2000 fame in 2 to 5 seconds.
Dialogue. There's no banter. There's no speaking. There's no commentating. He's just playing the game. He does have a webcam.
Then he also needs to run around a bit, which is very similar to the Black Zone. So comparing that, I find normal mobs a little bit less than he is finding mobs in these dungeons, of course. So I'm only getting twice or 3 times the fame that he is getting with whatever he's doing there, which seems to be like yellow zone solo dungeons, maybe with a map. He probably used some kind of map, so he gets a little bit more fame. I don't know. But like comparing my fame farming in the Black Zone, it gives like 2 times or 3 times the fame than what he is doing there. And he's also getting a buff from the faction for the faction thing since he flagged up.
Which I'm not against webcams. On several of my older YouTube channels, I used a webcam, even though he's got tons of silver to do so. Besides that, so far he's just fame farming. Not a lot of fame, to be honest. He does have premium active. He's not using a satchel for his fame, even though he's got tons of silver to do.
Well, silver is very, very, very important in this game. And if I reach like 500 million silver or 400 million silver, I'm going to use a satchel. But before that, I'm not, because I actually need my silver. I need my silver to buy some more 8.3 sets for some funny stuff I want to do. So I'm not going to waste my silver on getting more fame credits. I also need silver to buy these extra levels, like reaching from 100 to 120, which is very expensive in silver. So I'm not going to waste my silver for my fame if I cannot afford my items or my level ups.
Do so, I get way more fame just farming tier.
Wait. Then this guy is also using a satchel right now. So he's getting extra fame? Does this extra fame show? Like you can see the numbers here. Does the extra fame show here or does it not? I don't know about that. I don't know that.
5 yellow zone mobs and much faster because they are pretty sporadic here in the black zone, it looks like. So he is not being efficient with that at all. I don't know why he's doing it, unless he's doing it for the might, possibly. Now, interesting enough...
Oh, actually, he's mentioning an interesting point which makes my thing actually more efficient than his, even more. I'm actually getting might, which I can exchange for like energy or some chests. This makes the black zone thing even more profitable. I always forget about the might, and then like 1 month later I look at some random stats in the game and see, oh, I got this and that amount of might, or not might, the other thing. Favor? Favor it is, I think. Favor, right? Yeah, you can spend favor for these things.
He seems to be beelining it to all of the enchanted big nodes in the zone. Like, straight up just... his pattern of running around the map is not human. Like, he is literally skipping mobs that he would normally farm here to get to the really spicy nodes. So, and his eyeballs keep darting off the screen, so a lot. Like, his eyeballs are not focused on the screen at all.
There he is mistaking something. I'm looking at the what is it called? The border of the screen, I think. I mean, I don't exactly remember how often I look like this or that or something like this. But if I do that, I mean, when fame farming, no, I should be looking a lot at the border because it's dangerous. I have to mount up instantly if I see people. And for fun, I can show you something. Let's see. Here. There is no second screen. Just in case. I only have one screen, so it's not like I can look at some third-party software, as the guy in the comments said. Like he said something, I was using some weird hack or something. I mean, this guy in the comments said, let me check if the camera is correct. Yeah, it's fine. The guy in the comments said that swolebenjis says that I was using some weird program. But I don't have a second screen, so I don't know where I should be looking at that program.
Also, it makes me think that he's running a radar or an ESP, and for those that don't know, when you use recording software, you can hide such hack programs from showing up on your screen to the viewer, but also you can run hack program windows on a different monitor, allowing you to, you know, see all the...
Yeah, different monitor, that's why I was showing you that thing. I wanted to say something. What was it?
To the viewer, but also ESP, and for those, it makes me think that he's running screen, so a lot. Like his
yeah, the thing I wanted to say was that if I was using such weird programs, then why would I die to invisibility ganks, huh? Why would I die to those? I would just mount up beforehand, right?
Eyeballs are not focused on the screen at all. To the viewer, but also you can run hack program, and he is pretty good at slipping away. People try to gank him throughout this that an ESP would show you, just not on your screen. Now, he does have a lot of people try to gank him throughout this video, it seems, and he is pretty good at slipping away, so I'll give him that. Or the gankers in general are just really bad at missing all of their routes. They tag him a lot, they even break his mount a few times, but he still manages to get away. because he is using double invisible. Not the best boot choice, but and he's using an overpowered mount that's really hard to break, which is the Gallant Horse, which is, you know, it's ideal in the Black Zone if you have the money. This guy's clearly got the money for it. But he is struggling on some of these boss monsters here. They are taking forever to kill, and they are not giving that much fame. And a lot of his attempts.
If I'm doing like a very hard tier 2 or tier 3 mob in the tier 7 or in a tier 8 zone, they do give a lot of fame. They give like 50k fame. That's almost the same as this whole dungeon he is doing. And like the tier 3 mobs, the strongest mobs, they give like 100k fame or what? I don't know. On some thumbnail that I have, I actually have the fame of one of these kills. Which was it? It was some solo fame farming. This is not it. It was a tier 8, tier 3 mob. So solo fame farming. Let me take a look at it. Not here. Here it is. Even more. 323,000 fame. 323,000 fame for one mob. I don't think I need to say anything else about that. Okay, let's continue.
Fame farming are being interrupted because people ride up to him hoping that, you know, he might accidentally attack them, and interrupted because people at fame farming are. This guy's clearly got the money for it. But he is struggling on some of these boss monsters here. They are taking forever to kill, and they are not giving that much fame. And a lot of his attempts at fame farming are being interrupted because people ride up to him hoping that, you know, he might accidentally attack them.
Many of my attempts to fame farm are interrupted. That's not true. I'm fame farming for like an hour or 2 hours in these videos. And maybe 5 minutes or 4 minutes of this whole time I'm getting interrupted, which is not much.
And, you know, despawn his mount. So again, Black Zone's not really being efficient here. Now, funny enough, a lot of people on Reddit were talking about this person and saying that, oh, he farms so much silver in the Black Zone so fast, right? Now, he does speed up the footage a lot in this video.
I never used Reddit at all. Maybe I should take a look at Reddit. I like to read things about me, so I probably should Google me on Reddit sometime.
And I did check it, and he spent over 1 hour. It's like 1 hour. Dang it. Yeah, it's about 1 hour and like 10 minutes. And he only made 460,000 silver. He doesn't show the fame he earned, so I don't know how much fame he earned, but from looking at the footage, it's...
Yeah, the fame, in some videos I looked at it. It's kind of easy to look at it. I was able to just look at my guild statistics, but I'm too lazy to show it every run, because the fame does not matter, like the exact amount of it does not matter that much to me, because I know it's the most efficient way to do it solo. There are no other ways that are better solo, definitely, without like losing a lot of silver, for example. For example, doing static dungeon solo or something like that. That may give more fame, even though I doubt it, because it takes forever, really forever, to kill these group mobs. But that's the reason why I don't show it every video. If you guys want to see it every fame farming video, I can show it if you want to. And I think in 1 hour I made like 800k fame? Or 1 million? I'm not sure. The thing is, I'm not 100% efficiently fame farming, as I have already mentioned somewhere in some of these videos, because I like to check out these big nodes and hopefully gather them and stuff like that. So it's not 100% efficient. If I went into the black zone and went for 100% efficiency with fame farming, I would get more. I guess I would get like 1.5 million per hour. I don't know how that compares to other stuff, but it's definitely better than yellow zone stuff. That's just clear.
It's not a lot of fame, so again, just a small channel. This guy, I'm not hating on the content or nothing, but
I'm not hating on the content. This guy is probably using hacks. This stuff is boring. This stuff is very inefficient. I'm not hating. No, not at all.
yeah, it's not efficient at all. And looking at through the comments, people are impressed by the gank escapes, it looks like, and other than that, not a lot going on with this video. All right, looking at another baby channel here with barely any.
Another baby channel. Not hating at all. Not hating at all. Not the most sympathetic. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Not the nicest guy. Not the most enjoyable guy for me. I don't like him that much. I'd love to see the. Yeah, this was quite the long reaction. I'd love to see the game add a farming method that lets players raise spectral diabors in a new type of pasture or ghost animal too. I'd love to see the game add a farming method that lets players raise spectral diabors. Okay. I personally don't care too much about that because I don't like the whole like farming on the guild, not on the guild, farming on the island thing. It's too boring for me. It's similar to the transporting thing and stuff like that for me. The legend, thank you. Fuck the gankers, man. They supposed to get banned. 20 men versus 1, not fair. Relax. It's fine. As long as they don't chase me for 20 minutes without having a chance to catch me, I'm totally cool with it. And I'm also ganking. I mean, I'm ganking with less people, but it's totally fine. That's just part of the game. If you got more people, then you're stronger. And that's good. You kinda had that coming. Kind of. I invited him to the group, and it was really good that he was not in a group. It was very smart of him. You have to admit that, and so it was my mistake for not thinking about this possibility. If I thought that he was in a group, I would have played differently. Okay, this was really long. It already went dark. I see how my camera got darker. Kinda would need light to continue, but this is it, I think. Let's check if YouTube was blocking something. No, but there's a new one. Do you play with Albion online client itself or Steam? I'm playing with the Albion online client, not over Steam. Bam. But now that's it.